Hi, thanks for joining me today. We'll be discussing a topic that I don't like. This is not something that I like seeing on my timeline feed on YouTube or anywhere else. I don't like discussing this because it is steeped in negativity and it's very boring to me. But I hope you'll stay through to the end so I can explain this topic here and why I feel it's important to discuss this. So Corin Bush is the director of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and Corin is currently getting destroyed on the internet, facing a lot of criticism. We recently have seen interviews with Corin revealing many telling details about his attitude and thought process, especially when it comes towards creating the Dragon Age games. So we have seen an inverse article written by Hayes Madsen, claiming that Corin Bush is the ruler of RPGs and conqueror of haters. Now, I just want to make something very clear between you and me. I want to speak directly to you, all of you out there, that if you expect me to dogpile on this person because it is popular or it's trending, then this is not the channel for you. If you want me to make jokes and criticize Corin because of his sexuality, then you and I will not get along. And I will take no offense if you want to unsubscribe, because that is not why I'm here. In this video, there are no jokes today. There's no backhanded remarks. There is no sarcasm. There's no humor. And that is because this is an important topic. And what I want to say is that it is not right to attack someone over their sexual identity. This article does so much damage. Whoever wrote this, I don't know anything about Hayes Madsen. They must think that they're some heroic knight in shining armor and that they're running to the rescue and they're sweeping Corin Bush off his feet to rescue him, and that whoever wrote this is some brave hero that's going to show the internet. That is not what's happening. This article is doing significant damage. All the interviews that we see Corin engaging in are just doing more and more damage. And what is wrong with this article is that it prompts people to attack Corin by making blatantly false statements and celebrating something that has no merit or reason to be celebrated. They act like sexuality is a big deal, like it's something to celebrate. I want to help people understand, especially people who view my videos who are a bit younger. Sexuality is not a big deal. It is not important. It is the least important part about you. But these people, like Corin Bush, and the people that write these articles, and other gaming journalists, these people have zero life experiences, and they have nothing else to say. They have nothing else to talk about. They have no personal defining traits, and so they have to make sexuality a big deal because it is their only defining trait. And that's entirely their fault. Corin is not confident or comfortable in his own skin. He is an insecure person who is desperate for affirmation and validation, and that is not an insult. That is merely a description of Corin. And I do not want to see Corin attacked over that, because we all go through our own journeys in life, and it takes all of us our own struggles, our own fights, and it takes all of us a different amount of time to become comfortable with who we are. You don't be born in knowing exactly who you are, knowing exactly who you want to be, and it takes some of us a long time to really understand and come to terms with what we are and to decide who we want to be. Corin is still on that journey of becoming comfortable with who he is. Corin is still on his journey of becoming accepting and confident and comfortable. As a game director, it is fair to criticize Corin for doing a bad job, for being a very boring person with no discernible traits, for actively setting out to have no meaningful life experiences and refusing to gain any real-world experience by sitting at home, twittering on social media, and relishing in an echo chamber that he thinks gives his life value and meaning. It is fair to criticize Corin for choosing to live in a bubble of false reality, of rejecting reality, of covering your ears and saying, oh no, everything else is wrong and this is what I want the world to be, so that is what it is. It's fair to criticize Corin for that, for not accepting reality for what it is. It's taking him time to accept who he is. And it takes time to gain the strength to be comfortable with who you are. Corin doesn't have that yet. And I hope that he's able to work on that. The next generation of young people will be under greater societal pressure and hostility because of Corin Bush and because of articles like this. Corin has made the world more difficult, more uncomfortable, and more unwelcoming. All for the purpose of benefiting himself, to convince himself that he has affirmation, that he has validation. And now other people who are either non-straight or trans will face greater ridicule and greater rejection because of Corin Bush. He thinks he's some kind of hero that's made the world better. He's just made it worse for everyone else. I dislike this topic. I don't like discussing this. I want this channel to be fun and relaxing. But the world cannot be exactly what you want it to be. You have to accept the world for what it is, even if you don't like it. And that is part of growing up. It's important that I discuss these topics because I know that there are many people out there who watch my videos and look forward to this sort of life advice. And so even if it is unpleasant and I don't like discussing this stuff, it's necessary. We see here in this article something very upsetting. And this is what prompted me to make this video. Bush says, I am an openly queer trans woman. It shaped everything about who I am. And this is so disappointing to see someone say this, because they've let something that is not important define the entirety of who they are. And because of that, he's pigeonholed himself into having no discernible traits, in being literally nobody except this buzzword. And I really don't want to see the next generation of young people grow up like this, to think that that is your only defining trait. I don't understand what being trans means. That's for you to decide. That's for you to process on your own. I can't speak on that. But the last thing I would do is criticize someone over that. That's your life journey. That's for you to work out and to understand and accept. But to say that that has shaped everything about you is so very sad. And that is obviously why Dragon Age, the Veilguard, turned out so awful. Is that instead of setting out to gain interesting and meaningful life experiences, to improve as a person, to learn more about the world, to understand other people, instead of doing any of that, Bush just said, cool, I'm queer and trans. That's about all I need. I'm good. I'm done. And that's not enough. If you out there have been watching and you understand what I'm trying to say, then this is not enough. That is not enough to be a good person. That's not enough to be an interesting person. And it's certainly not enough to be a director of a major AAA video game. Thanks for watching. I'm going to upload another video today that is just fun. I don't like this video. I don't think I'll be responding to comments in this video because I dislike this topic already. Thanks for listening. Take care of yourselves.